Hi guys, welcome back to another PEL video. As you can probably tell from today's title, I am doing another incel video. I promise this is the last one. I'm not becoming an incel channel, but somebody had asked me to react to JUBILEE's I'm an Incel, Ask Me Anything. So I figured that would be an interesting way to kind of close off this series, quote unquote. I don't even know if it can be categorized as one, but I'll be reacting to that today. So let's get started.
If you could summarize your opinion towards women.
Like what I think of them?
Yes.
I do think they are very important, but...
Okay. All right, we're getting a good start here. So like they say in the video, just so you guys know, in case you've never seen the other videos before, or if you've never heard of an incel is short for involuntarily celibate, which means like a kind of subculture that they're a part of where they are not sexually active even though they want to be. And there's many different types of incels, as I've been made aware, and I'm trying to research and learn more about. So let's see what kind of incel this dude is.
Some topics are hard to approach.
More and more male hatred against women is rising up.
You might call this a new phenomenon.
Either the subjects are inaccessible or people are uncomfortable discussing them.
If you're an ugly guy, you better get a good job and make some money, because nobody's gonna want to talk to you.
Okay, they quoted the SPLC as well. Somebody came for me for doing that, but they did it too. So if JUBILEE can do it, why can't I?
Girls, I will destroy you.
You don't deserve to get laid at all!
So we found those subjects in person, rented a space in Hollywood, and invited our audience and any strangers walking by to come inside and ask them anything.
Okay, hey, I'm Brendio. I also go by Derek. I'm an incel, and I'm here to answer people's questions about the topic.
So far, he doesn't seem like a bad dude. I don't know if I'm shooting myself in the foot by saying that, but like he seems chill right now. Like, didn't say anything crazy in the first 5 seconds.
I can start. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
So you're an incel?
Yes.
Why would you ever sign up to do this?
I suppose I would want to give more of a positive light on this community, which is a very negative light upon it.
Okay, and do you think that's a good thing?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because a lot of the boys in this community aren't bad people.
But you acknowledge that a good handful of them are, right?
Not a good handful, I'd say a small handful.
Who hurt you, or what happened? What event sort of
Okay, he's like breaking my heart a little bit. Like, I feel bad for him. And I hope he's actually going to be a nice person throughout this video.
catalyzed this way of thinking and you getting into this kind of research?
Society?
Do you hate women?
No.
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 Do you have a female role model in your life?
A female role model?
Yeah, like a mom or an aunt or a friend?
I mean, I love my mom. I wouldn't necessarily consider her a role model, but I do love her quite a bit.
If a woman was elected as president of the United States, how would you react?
I don't know. It probably would depend on the woman. I probably wouldn't be supportive of it, honestly, but.
Why do you say that, if you don't mind me asking?
I do think that men should be the
buddy.
leaders and women should be the caregivers and the loving, supporting.
Oh
the teachers in some
man.
cases.
Oh no. I was like falling in love, not like in love, but I was like, yes, buddy, I feel bad for you, but now I can. Okay, no, I'll stop talking, but now I can see what's going on here.
Since women of color or just women in general have been oppressed by certain systems and other oppressed communities, especially LGBTQ+, all those don't really fit with the spectrum that incels or you have been talking about. So why do you think your method of thought would help fix what we have today?
I probably wouldn't view the things that you might view as oppression as oppression. I have a feeling. I would view it more as...
He's talking, I mean, he can't see her, but he's talking to a woman of color, being like, your oppression is not my oppression, the white man says. Oof.
We treat children that we love. We control them, but we control them lovingly, not as a slave, not as we're forcing them to do things against their will. I would view it more as a loving domestic.
Not as slavery exists. It happened. It still happens today. What do you... I mean, like, oh, we treat them as children we love, not as slaves. I'm a bit lost.
In the past, and I would say that if we were to do it in a civilized way, maybe in a more, even a Christian way, even though I'm not really advocating for a certain religion or ideology, I would assume that women would probably be happier. And I wouldn't just assume that blindly, I would assume that based on the data that I have seen.
What data have you seen that has brought you to this conclusion? Because I'm now curious where I can get this data from.
I couldn't reference it offhand, but I believe there was a study that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Can't reference it offhand means it doesn't exist.
Okay. What do you think it is about liberal
honey.
areas that create behavior in women that you think is a problem?
Promiscuity leads to increased standards in more primitive aspects such as looks, and that typically makes it harder for some people to find a relationship, including sometimes good-looking people. Like, there's guys who are much better looking than I am who are having a really hard time finding someone in a place like LA or...
I don't see the logic in that. He's like, because people are more promiscuous these days, the beauty standard is getting higher, but if you're more promiscuous, like, you're sleeping with more people, you're being more open to sexual activities. So I'm a little lost, but maybe he'll explain himself, we'll see.
But they probably would have a perfectly fine time finding a woman somewhere else.
So you think that promiscuity is the problem, and if people were more monogamous and more withholding?
Ooh, him saying they'd find a woman somewhere else is very true. I saw a thread on incels.co, I'll try to find it again, where this guy went to, I forget what country it was, but it was like I think a Southeast Asian country. And it was this white dude who was like flexing on other incels and being like, look at how many women I can get to sleep with me. And he's like, these women are ugly and da-da-da. And they were even minors in the thread. I'm not sure how old he was, but like, you know, a man who can afford to pay for his own trip all the way from the US to Asia is probably way too old to be sleeping with 17-year-old girls who are impressionable. So he was validating this dude's point in a way, saying like, oh yeah, look at me because I'm like a white dude in like an Asian country. Look at how much I can get. So I see his point. I'm not saying it's correct or good, but I see his point there.
That would sort of fix society?
Yeah, I suppose people were more traditionalist.
There have been a few mass shootings in the past where these shooters actually stated that they were incels or were radicalized by online incels. What do you think about their actions?
I condemn their actions. I don't believe violence is...
Oh, he's so sweaty. He must be so anxious. Like, I feel a little bit bad for him. Like, a tiny little bit bad for him. Like, I'm sure this must be hard for him to do. Even though he's saying things that I completely disagree with, I'm sure that this is very uncomfortable for him. So he might be, like, misspeaking a little bit as well and saying things he doesn't mean entirely just because of how anxious and nervous he is. So I feel for him a tiny, tiny, tiny bit.
The solution. I don't believe attacking random people is going to fix anything, whether they're, you know, women or men. I do think that the reason why they committed those actions was probably because of out of desperation or out of, you know, mental problems that probably could have been prevented had the right support was in their community, in their household. If people, you know, saw what they were posting and saw what they were experiencing in life and did something to help them.
Was there like a pivotal moment in your life, like a straw that broke the metaphorical camel's back?
You know, it's constant years of rejection, no matter who the person was, constant years of rejection in other aspects of my life. It did kind of push me towards more, I suppose, radical beliefs, but I suppose they're only like radical, but they're more just old beliefs, really.
No, it sounds like I had another like metaphor, like death by 1,000 cuts. You know, it's not like one pivotal moment, but it sounds like a bunch of things built up over time.
This dude loves metaphors. He can't just speak normally to this man. He's got to come up with metaphors for everything.
One of the common criticisms about the incel community is that you feel entitled to sex or intimacy. Do you believe that you deserve sex or intimacy?
I want to hear what he's going to say about this one.
I think everybody at some level deserves someone that loves them and, you know, respects them, as long as you are also loving and respectful towards that person. You know, they're an equal. You know, you're not like seeking someone beyond yourself.
Fair enough.
You don't have like too high standards, I suppose. You know.
If you can tell the world about something about being incel that, you know, that may not be in the internet or that's overlooked heavily, what would it be?
I don't know. I think mostly that most of the men are not inherently bad people. A lot of them are just lonely. They just need some help, really.
Okay. Would you say that there's anything that other people can do to help guide or just support or anything?
You know, the lonely person in your class or the lonely person in your workplace, maybe he's an incel and he's not.
Okay, I swear I thought he was gonna say have sex with them. Like I really thought for a second he was gonna be like, yeah, go have sex with one. Because somebody did that to me. But I thought he was about to say that. I'm glad he's giving a real answer.
You know, and he's just kind of afraid he wants someone positive. Just be nice, say hi, try and make friends with him. You don't have to date him, you don't have to whatever, just, you know, brighten up someone lonely's day, I suppose.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
You don't want to be an incel?
No.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it's part of the whole involuntarily thing. I mean, you know, you want to try and escape it, you want to be something better, you know, you want to get a wife,
Yeah, that was
get a
funny.
girlfriend, get someone who loves you.
Why would she? That was a dumb question. Why would you be like, oh, you don't want to be involuntarily celibate? Like, do you know what the word involuntarily means, babe?
And spend your life with them and be happy. And
What's one thing you wish people understood better about you?
I don't know. I guess I wish people would recognize how much effort I'm trying, I suppose. Like, you know, I'm working out typically daily. I've lost over 100 pounds. I'm out there job.
Good for you, babe. As you should. Nice. Proud of you.
Hunting actively. I don't think people recognize how much effort the incels in general try to put into bettering themselves. I would say, you know, people don't recognize their effort. They just assume that they're all like lazy and sad and angry at women and just giving up and things of that nature, I suppose. You don't have to see the bad things in the world and then come out a bad person. You can just see the bad things in the world and then improve upon yourself because of them, I suppose.
So you do have hope.
Yeah, I have hope, yeah. I'm a very hopeful person, I suppose.
I won't lie, this went a lot differently than I thought it would. I thought we'd be yelling at each other, you know?
It was nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too.
Oh. Okay, so I have mixed opinions about this guy, but not like in a bad way. I think he seems like a good person and like he's honestly just having a problem that he's struggling with and wants to fix. So I feel for him in that regard. He does have some sexist viewpoints and some outdated views, but I think that comes more so from a place of insecurity and unhappiness than a hateful place. So even though I don't think it's okay to say the types of things he's saying, especially about like promiscuous women, because why is it the woman's responsibility to not have sex? You know, like let women do what they want to do, like let them have bodily autonomy to do whatever makes them happy. And the part about like minorities and people who are oppressed, I can't really get behind. But I honestly think that doesn't come from a bad place. He seems like he's got a good heart and just he needs to have more perspective on the world, which he'll get, I'm sure. Hopefully he's not incel anymore. I hope he, you know, after this interview found some success and is living a nice life, maybe with a girlfriend or a boyfriend, who knows. So good for you, dude. And I'm proud of him for losing over 100 pounds. That's impressive. He's got to write some diet tricks and tips for the rest of us. But that video was interesting. Thank you to the person who recommended that I watch it. Like I think it kind of helped to reinforce the people who are commenting on the other videos and saying like incels aren't hateful people or mean to be hateful. They don't necessarily hate women. But it also does reaffirm the fact that I do think a lot of sexist ideology is passed around on their forums and that most of them do believe in sexist ideology, even though they might not think they're being sexist, they are. But that's something that everybody can learn and grow from. Not everybody's perfect. Everybody's got to, you know, do some research, figure out the world, travel, talk to other people, talk to minorities, talk to people who are actually living under oppression and gain some perspective on how other people live. So I'm gonna look up this dude now and see what he's up to today. Hopefully he's having a good life. But thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like, and I hope I didn't make any incels mad today because other videos made them mad. Next week I'll come back with an unrelated video to incels, I promise, and have a good rest of the day.